Welcome back. Turning now to Raptors baseball, year after year, this has been one of the most successful programs in the history of MC Sports. Since Dan Rasher took over as head coach 9 years ago, this team has consistently won the regional championship, gone to the World Series, and sent legions of players on to four-year schools with scholarships. But 2014 will go down as one of the oddest, most up-and-down seasons they've ever experienced. Public enemy number one was the weather. In a word, it was atrocious. Game after game was postponed and rescheduled. Over 25 games were affected, almost half their schedule. And no doubt this had an impact on the team's play. Ball players thrive on repetition, timing, and consistent play, and having to practice indoors so often and work around constant rainouts definitely hurt their preparation. Another contributor to their up-and-down season was the youth and inexperience of the team. The 2014 Raptors returned just 6 players from last season's Region 20 champion and World Series team. So a lot of young and inexperienced players had to get used to playing a schedule with 3 times as many games than what they were used to in high school. So in hindsight, horrible weather and a young roster was a recipe for an up-and-down, inconsistent season. But despite all that, they still delivered a strong and exciting year, starting with their annual Florida trip in March, where they played 9 games in 5 days and won 6, including 2 wins over national top 10 teams. And that trip wasn't the only highlight of their season. A doubleheader sweep of D2 Burlington in early April showed the team's depth of talent. In Game 1, Burlington took an early 4-2 lead, but the Raptors' offense came alive in the 5th when Nick Kozarski led off the inning with a solo shot to deep center. The Raptors put up 7 more that inning and would go on to take Game 1 10-4. Nick Ponifala pitched 3 2/3 innings of one-hit relief and notched the win. In Game 2, freshman sensation Tyler Coleman went 4 for 4 with 2 doubles as the Raptors once again relied on the big inning, plating 6 in the 3rd. MC held on to win 6-4, holding the Barons to just 3 hits as Andy McWilliams picked up the win and Antonio Pino recorded his 3rd save. But as was often the case with this season, that doubleheader win was followed by a stretch of rainouts and inconsistent play. Over the next 15 games, bunched up in just 18 days because of foul weather, the Raptors went 7-8. But then came an April 24th game that produced the signature play of the Raptors season. Facing D2 College of Southern Maryland on a rare sunny day, the Raptors jumped out to a 4-zip lead, scoring 2 in the first on a clutch 2-out single by Jeremy Ponifala, and 2 more in the 3rd on an RBI single from Tyler Coleman, one of 4 hits by the freshman, and another RBI single from Ponifala. But the Hawks fought back with 1 in the 6th, 4 more in the 7th, and then tacked on a run in the 9th to lead the Raptors 6-5, entering the bottom of the 9th. With 2 outs and 1 on, it looked bleak. But freshman Antonio Pino tied things up on the first pitch he saw with a line drive double in the gap, scoring John Hanley. And that brought up Ian Velez with 2 outs and Pino on second.
So Ian Velez, 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, man on second. And there's a bouncer to third. It's going to be tough. And he's going to beat it out. And here comes Pino. And he scores. He is safe at the plate as Antonio Pino has scored from second base to win the game for the Raptors as he knocked Jeremy Ramalia off his feet. And the little fella scores the winning run on a bouncer by Ian Velez. So Montgomery College comes back with a 2-run rally in the bottom of the 9th inning to steal this game.
Wow.
You got to say, they stole this game from the Southern Maryland Hawks.
That thrilling win showed the type of character and resolve this team possessed. And over the last 10 games of the regular season, they played more consistently. Their play earned them the #1 seed entering the Region 20 tournament, and in the opener, the defending champion Raptors faced rival PG Community College. It was a wild affair, as the hitters on both squads had a field day. But despite a comeback by the Raptors, the Owls from PG held on to win it 17-16. The region tournament is double elimination though, so the Raptors were still alive. That first round loss meant MC would face Westmoreland next, and the Raptors would have to come out of the losers bracket to defend their title in the double elimination tournament. But it wasn't in the cards, as the season-long woes of spotty defense and inconsistent offense reared their ugly heads yet again. The Raptors' Gus Gill pitched his heart out for 9 innings, allowing just 1 earned run. But MC's defense faltered, and their hitters just couldn't solve Westmoreland starter Brandon Rowland, who allowed just 4 hits over 9 to send the Raptors home. And so for just the second time in the Dan Rasher era, the Raptors did not advance to the World Series. Clearly, the end result was a disappointment for the Raptors, but there's still plenty to celebrate and a lot to look forward to. They finished 26-17 on the season, the best record of any team in Region 20. 6 Raptors were named to the All-Region 20 team: Tyler Coleman, Antonio Pino, Brandon Humbertson, Nick Panafala, Gus Gill, and Ian Velez. Pino and Coleman were also named first-team All-Maryland JUCO. And when the NJCAA All-American honors were handed out, Tyler Coleman was honored as a first-team selection, and Antonio Pino was named to the third team. The future looks very bright. It was a very young team this year, but guess what? That means a whole bunch of guys are coming back next season sporting a rather large chip on their shoulder. That list includes Coleman, Pino, Humbertson, and Gill, all of whom made All-Region 20.